Good afternoon, and welcome to Grand Rapids Community College, your community college campus. We're excited to have you here. And thank you to the Grand Rapids Community College Jazz Orchestra and to Sergeant Stephen Dietrich and the Creston High School ROTC. What a great way to energize us for today's program. As some of you may know, Grand Rapids Community College students, faculty, and staff choose a book to study each year together. And our one book, one college selection for this year was Dr. Forney's book, Choosing Civility, the 25 Rules of Considerate Conduct. The message in Dr. Forney's book is simple. We all need social support to be kinder to each other in the way we speak, listen, and value each other. Rule number 5 of choosing civility is also simple. Be inclusive. In discussing rule number 5, Dr. Forney says, one of our strongest yearnings is to be accepted by others. We love being welcomed by individuals, and we delight in the feeling of belonging to a group. Dr. King would be so proud of us, don't you think? In seeking social justice, and through all of his efforts, all Dr. King wanted was for everyone to be included. The bus boycotts, the protest marches, and when Dr. King cried out these words, "I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." At our nation's capital, all he wanted was for all of us to be included. Included in all the rights our society has to offer. Included in all of our humanity. Instead of being told, "You are not one of us." The social justice Dr. King fought and the legacy he has left many generations is about wanting to be included. When renowned activist and champion of promoting social justice, Judy Richardson, who will be our speaker this evening, was asked what she hoped people would take away from her powerful documentary, Scared Justice. She replied, an understanding of what happens when folks decide someone is not like them, that they are the other. In other words, they are not included. Today, rule number 5 in Dr. Forney's book can be seen in action. We are all being inclusive. We are all united. We march together. We gathered each other together. We celebrate our work together for social justice. Dr. King would be happy to see us all here today. And here at Grand Rapids Community College, we are proud to be celebrating 25 years of Dr. King's legacy of being accepted for who we are, of being inclusive, and continuing his dream. Now I'd like for you to bow your heads for a moment of silence. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our Mistress of Ceremonies, Danielle Martin. She graduated from East Kentwood High School in 2007. Danielle is currently a student at Grand Rapids Community College in the Child Development Program and is currently the president of the Black Student Union. When she finishes her courses at Grand Rapids Community College, she plans to transfer to Grand Valley State University for the Physician Assistant Program. In this program, she would like to focus her training and her studies in pediatrics. Her future goals include moving to the East Coast to enter medical school to become a pediatric surgeon. When she is not studying, Danielle enjoys spending time with her family and works hard to be a mentor to her younger cousins by promoting education and helping them with their schoolwork. Please join me in welcoming our Mistress of Ceremonies, Danielle Martin.
Good afternoon. While I was growing up, we never celebrated Dr. Martin Luther King Day in school. Although it was a day off for me, that wasn't enough. Yes, I got to sleep in and I enjoyed watching the cartoons that I missed while I was getting ready for school. However, as I got older, I began to understand and appreciate this day. Without Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I wouldn't be able to attend the school of my choosing without being discriminated against. I wouldn't be able to walk into a restaurant without them having a section in the back for me to go to. I wouldn't be able to walk into a company and apply for a job without them telling me that they don't hire blacks. Dr. King made it possible for Americans and many others to enjoy the same rights as all. It is for this reason I am glad that today is a day on and not a day off, to celebrate the life, the legacy, and the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I am thankful that you made today a day on to continue Dr. King's life's work. On behalf of Grand Rapids Community College, I am pleased to welcome you to the 25th Annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration and Peace March. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the presentation of colors in the national anthem? We are pleased to welcome Creston High School ROTC, led by Sergeant Dietrich, to present the colors, and Northview Varsity Voices, led by Director Judy Pellerito, who will be singing our national anthem.
Dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare bursting in air, yet proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
It is my pleasure to invite Northview High School Varsity Voices to perform another song. Varsity Voices led by Judy Pellerito and is accompanied by Diane Cosby, and this piece will feature a soloist, Danielle Cosby. For their second piece, they will be playing Up to the Mountain, which is composed by Patty Griffin and arranged by Mac Huff. This song is based on the famous "I've Been to the Mountaintop" speech given by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1968, the day before he was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee.
I went up to the mountain because you asked me to. Up over the clouds to where the sky is blue. I could see all around me, everywhere. I could see all around me, everywhere. Sometimes I feel like, oh, I've never been nothing but tired. And I'll be walking, oh, to the day I expire. Sometimes I lay down. No more can I do. But then I go on again. Because you asked me to. Some days I look down, I'm afraid I will fall. And though the sun shines, I see nothing at all. And then I hear your sweet voice, coming down, telling me softly, you love me so. The peaceful valley just over the mountain. The peaceful valley, few come to know. I may never get there, ever in this life.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Rodney Martin. Mr. Martin is a diversity partner at Warner Norcross and Judd. This law firm has demonstrated an exceptional commitment to diversity and inclusion. An example of this commitment, Warner Norcross and Judd is the sponsor of the annual Dr. Martin Luther King Essay Scholarship Competition. Please join me in welcoming Rodney Martin to present this year's recipients.
Thank you very much. It is a pleasure to be here on behalf of our firm. We're very proud to have sponsored the 6th annual Martin Luther King Jr. Essay Contest for 6th graders in the Grand Rapids Public Schools. We'd like to specifically thank Carmen Fernandez and Cheryl Depker of the Southwest Community Campus for their help once again in putting this year's competition together. We're happy this year to have had 140 students participate in our contest. And the essays were judged by lawyers from around the state. We have offices in 6 different cities, and people in all those offices participated. From those essays, we selected 17 to receive honorable mention. And then there were 3 top essays, the winner of the second runner-up is Elena Dickerson from Ms. Holt's class at Riverside Middle School. I don't know if Elena's here. The first runner-up is Grace Cameron from Mr. Fordney's class at the Zoo School. And I'm very proud to introduce to you the grand prize winner of this year's contest, Violet Rose Butts, who is from Mrs. Reed and Mr. Busamra's class at the Center for Economic Ecology. At this time, I'd like to invite Violet to come up and read her essay.
Martin Luther King's courageous approach of using love and nonviolence can be used to overcome struggles and bring brotherly love to the world. Martin recognized the healing power of forgiveness. We need to employ his way of life in dealing with the many diverse feelings of others so we can have empathy and forgiveness. He clearly recognized the person using nonviolence has a powerful weapon that cuts without wounding, and that this person's actions are noble. He created a good example of how to take a stand without it resulting in rage and anger. Martin Luther King's words tell us to use determined nonviolence and love in a way to move away from racial injustice, poverty, and war in our world even today. Dr. King's daring message of freedom from his Nobel Peace Prize lecture are guidelines of how we should grow up in love and peace. As children, we have to live in a home together with our family. He suggests that we need to realize that ultimately our world is just like that, a great world house. We all need to coexist, no matter our backgrounds or cultures. This should be reflected into everything we do because he showed us that big and little problems can be solved with peace and kindness instead of violence. How amazing is it that Dr. King won the Nobel Peace Prize at a young age of 35? So at that, young people must start thinking in these terms now, just as Martin must have when he was a child. In conclusion, Dr. King is a great example for people today because he used positive words to tell people that there is a problem in America. And his words can be greatly applied into people's own words today. I believe it is imperative to apply his blueprint into every kid's life for the greater future.
If this is your first time at the Dr. Martin Luther King celebration, you are now in for a treat. There is no one better to express and bring King's dream message than our young people. It is my pleasure to introduce the 5th grade class choir from Breton Downs Elementary. They are led by their director, Nancy Keelan Boyd. They will be singing Free at Last by Teresa Jennings. While they are performing, you will be able to view the artwork representing the life and legacy of Dr. King. Please welcome the Breton Downs Elementary Choir.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
When we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing, in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
I am very excited to welcome to the stage GRCC Concert Choir. They are led by Dr. Stephen Barton. They will be playing two pieces. The first is the Negro National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, composed by James Weldon Johnson. They will then perform Ave Maria. Of particular interest, this version of Ave Maria has been arranged by R. Nathaniel Dent, who was the choral director from 1913 to 1932 at Hampton Institution, a historical black college in Virginia. Please join me in welcoming Grand Rapids Community Concert Choir.
Would you please stand for the singing of the Negro National Anthem? Lift every voice and sing.
Ring with the
nobis peccatoribus, in hora mortis nostrae.
At this time, we are going to pause and welcome a very important organization that provides exceptional service and leadership within our communities. As a participant, you were asked to bring items to support Kids Food Basket. They are a nonprofit group who are attacking childhood hunger within the greater Grand Rapids area. We encourage you to see the connection between Dr. King's legacy and the work that Kids Food Basket does every day. Please welcome to the podium Katrina Harvey, Program Coordinator for the Kids Helping Kids program.
Hello, I am Katrina Harvey from Kids Food Basket. On behalf of our organization and my family that I brought with me today, I'd like to thank you very much for your donations. But I'd also like to remind you that just like Dr. King made a difference, we have an opportunity to make a difference in the greater Grand Rapids area by stamping out childhood hunger. We provide a service to schools that 80% or higher of the kids are on free or reduced lunch. And we all know how hard it is to concentrate when we're hungry. So can you imagine being a child who's in school and you're hungry and you may not receive a meal at home that night? And that's on your mind instead of what is being taught to you in school that day. I brought my son Caleb today because he represents other children who understand the importance of our message at Kids Food Basket and what Dr. King considers unfair and unjust. So I'm asking you today not to just think about what you can do for childhood hunger, but also as children, which is where we need to start, we're also asking you to come out and create an action, whether that is not to waste food of your own. If you don't like what's in your lunch, give it to someone else so that it's not wasted. Or if it's starting a project in your classroom or in your school, your church organizations, your athletic clubs. We just ask that you support us and the fight in Greater Grand Rapids area to not let any children go hungry. Right now, we service 3,400 children, and that number continues to grow every day. So just think about what it is you can do as adults, but especially you as children. What can you do to be that one person who makes a difference? Thank you.
In light of the Kids Food Basket presentation, I feel that the GRCC Concert Choir has selected an excellent piece to conclude our program today. They will now perform It Takes a Village by Jonah Samaiko. Thank you to all who joined us today to keep Dr. King's legacy of peace, justice, and equality in our hearts, our mind, and in our actions. I encourage you to keep doing this good work, and I hope you find a way to connect with one of our great community service organizations, such as Kids Food Baskets, that continue to help those in need and create equality for all. I would like to take a brief moment and thank all those who helped make today's event a success. First, thank you to all the schools and groups who took time to be here with us today. I would like to thank all the fabulous performers. We would like to recognize the work of several departments and organizations who contribute to today's events. Thank you to the Ford Fieldhouse staff, Campus Police, Diverse Learning Center, Student Life, Warner, Norcross and Judd, Kids Food Basket, and Upward Bound. GRCC is pleased to offer another celebration this evening, and you are welcome to come back to the campus and join us. The Dr. Martin Luther King Event Commemoration Program will be here in this room from 6:30 to 8:30 and features filmmaker and social activist Judy Richardson. If you arrive by bus, please remain seated, and we will notify you when your bus has pulled up to the exit doors. Thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again next year.
Once again, if you came by bus,